Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Day ends on the 24th of October, 2018, and I would say that this was one hell of a choppy day for the Indian markets. Look at the 5-minute chart of Nifty. I have the opening, which was a gap up, 140 points, I guess, on the Nifty future. This is the daily chart. The 5-minute chart clearly suggests that after the gap up, we got a failure to hold on to that gap. Rising gap, an attempt to inch towards that high, which was a failure, and there was a sharp sell-off towards the late afternoon. And what do we have at the last 1 hour? We've got a bounce back. We've got a bounce back, which led to a gain of over 90 points for the Nifty spot. So yes, volatility, yes, a lot of choppiness in the market. End result, we don't go too much. We stay in that zone. When we make a low of 10,100, 115, we close at 100 points up around 10,235, 236, and the trend, the underlying trend stays down. Just extending from our views on the market over the last few days, the underlying trend is down. The momentum is supporting the weakness on the downside. Sentiment is weak, but indicators are oversold. Not the best of time to go short on the Nifty. That's exactly what I had shared with you in my video, yesterday's video. Whether it's a time to go long, I would suggest no, because then I need a very tight seat belt. You see, the volatility is going to probably chop us out. I would wait for a defined setup, which will tell us that yes, there is a possibility, a probability to go long at this juncture. If I go long here, just based on the fact that the markets have come down consecutively for 4 days, would be essentially trading like a rookie, which I would not like to do. So go with the trend. The trend is down. The momentum is still following the downside. The sentiment is weak. So we stay bearish. We maintain a bearish stance in the market. I like the weekly chart of Nifty as it's panning out, because what do I see is our essentially sets of divergences with the relative strength index. And if this plays out well on the weekly chart, that is, I think 2 more days to go, and 10,405. If I have a move above the 10,405 on the weekly time frame, there is a chance of 10,700 on the upside. There are 2 conditions for that. We need to close here on that 10,250, 300, and the index needs to break above that 10,405 in the next week. Till then, I think the market is going to stay choppy, and trading would be a little difficult. And what did we do? Let's quickly take a look at the Bank Nifty. We shared our views that the Bank Nifty is relatively better off, and it's holding above its early October lows. It continues that way, but the choppiness is still there, much more than what we probably saw in Nifty. This is the Bank Nifty 5-minute chart, quite choppy. Nothing much to take over here, but one important thing, if you see the candlestick chart, which is very clearly here, we've got an opening high on the Bank Nifty future contract. With the expiry coming up tomorrow, I'm quite sure that this choppiness will persist, and there might be sharp moves either on the upside or on the downside. From a short-term point of view, I will not be surprised if the index tries to gain a further grounds on the upside, and I will not be surprised either if we see some amount of selling coming up at higher levels. So choppiness is the name of the game right now. So what did we do today? Well, we sat quietly. We had few trades that we had anticipated thanks to the gap up. It opened significantly above our trigger price, so we passed them, we let them go. We waited throughout the afternoon so that probably the market will give us an opportunity, but it didn't. And we're happy that it didn't, because the kind of move that we saw in the last 2.5 hours was very difficult for positional swing trades. For an intraday, if you're on the right side, yes, it was a good move. There was a movement on both sides of the market. What are the stocks we are looking at? And this is something new that I would share with you today. This is a list of stocks I'm keeping a close eye for tomorrow. I will be scanning through them minutely later on today evening, so that I pick up those which I'll share with my clients. Vedanta, we've got an inside bar, and as you can see, there's an ANS sell which which is a system which I trade. I call it the aim and shoot. Apollo Tyre is something I will pass on because this is an interesting chart. Bank of Baroda. I'm keeping a very close on this. This stock can be a swing candidate on the short side. Keeping a very close on this for the last couple of for the next 2 days. Also, if it triggers, CAT is a nice inside bar and it's hitting supports, kind of a formation of a double top, double bottom as it's shaping up. So we've got an inside bar here. CAT looks good for a short term. CAC, we were short. If you remember the last 2 videos, we've been talking about CAC. Nothing doing there. Dabur also is a very interesting chart, which is almost an inside bar. DCB Bank has given a breakout above that inside bar. DHFL, no, I'm sorry. Godrej Industries, not really. ITC and Hindustan Lever, worth keeping a very close watch on. The supports are acting as resistances. It is that level of 290 and 293, 294 is holding. We've got an inside bar in ITC as well. And I did talk about the Hindustan Unilever. Similar setups you'll find where earlier supports is now acting as resistances. It will be interesting to see if it manages to hold on. If it does, we've got to move. If it doesn't, then when you look at the weekly charts of Hindustan Lever and when you look at the weekly charts of ITC, you will find some possibility of move downside. So it'll be interesting to keep a close watch on these FMCG counters. Till then, tomorrow is expiry. I will probably get a seat belt on this seat of mine, a tighter one. Till then, trade well, trade wise. Thank you.